So I think when golfers struggle with their golf swing and the shots, nobody ever tells me that they're struggling because they're hitting the ball straight. But what we do see with golfers is they struggle with their slice. And nowadays we understand that that slice is caused from the path swinging out to in. So we can see that number there, 5.2 degrees out to in. But equally, we understand that the hook predominantly is caused from that path being too far from the inside, and we can see there 9 degrees from the inside. Now, what if I told you that potentially we could improve your swing path without trying to change your golf swing, but just by changing the width of your stance? Now, I know that sounds incredibly easy, and literally this could be a 2-second tip to get you hitting the ball straighter than ever before. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my normal shot and show you what my kind of path would tend to be, and then show you how changing the width of the stance can affect the way you move in the golf swing and how it can change that path. So if I were to hit my normal shot, setting up straight, we'll see that little draw, 5 degrees from the inside. And that's a pretty typical golf shot for me. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if you're somebody who already swings much more out to in? Well, all I'm going to show you is how the width of stance changes my delivery. So if you're somebody who swings much more out to in, towards the end I'll explain in more detail how the changes can work for you. So what you'll probably notice, and a lot of guys comment on this, is that they think I stand probably a little bit too narrow for my height. I'm 6'1", and I would agree I don't stand massively wide on that. Now, if we look at a swing from down the line, what you would tend to see is somebody who swings out to in, the club will work this way, and somebody who's more from the inside, the club will drop down as they start to swing. Now, if you look at width of stance and how that can influence how that club starts down, if somebody stands very, very wide, it will restrict their turn. But what they will do is they will move more side to side predominantly. Now, if I move side to side, the club drops down. Somebody who generally swings out to in or over the top, generally there's lots of rotation early on, and there isn't that move to the side. So they'd get to the top, turn out of the way, they've not moved, there's the out to in move. So we've seen I'm about 5 degrees from the inside with my normal width of stance. Now, if I went much wider in my stance and still aim nice and straight, we're expecting this to restrict my rotation and make more side to side movement. Not quite as good a strike, and we can see that path has moved a little bit more from the inside. So the width of stance has kind of done what I expected there. Now, I'm not saying that obviously you want to get wider and wider. This is where an element of trial for you. And I'm not saying, even in this video, that somebody who swings hugely out to in, just widening their stance a bit is suddenly going to get them swinging inside. It's about trying to get you a little bit more neutral so that you play with less shape. So let's do that nice wide one again, see if I can match my strike a little bit more with it. A little bit thin, and still nearly 7 degrees from the inside. Now, I'll be honest, I don't love that feel, but for anyone who has been swinging more this way, you might love that feel. So if I went very exaggerated the other way and went incredibly narrow with my feet, we're expecting I can't move too much side to side because I'll fall over. So if I can't move side to side, I've got to turn earlier, and that should get the club steeping a little bit, and for me, swinging a bit straighter. So nice narrow stance. Let's make that swing. So again, not the perfect strike, but all of a sudden we can see that club path only 0.6 degrees from the inside. So again, let's go one more, feet very close together. You can see the path actually working very slightly out to in. Now it's an interesting one because for me as a coach, I've obviously got TrackMan and there's some more pieces of kit that are coming very soon that will feature in my videos. But as a kid, I never liked that feeling of standing wide. And I always found that hit lots of pushes and hooks when I got wide. And definitely driver was a bit of an issue with me for the right and left miss. And I always found the more I practiced with my feet together, the better everything felt and the better the shots. And nowadays I understand why. That when those feet are closer together for me, it doesn't allow me to drop the club as much on the inside, gets me turning earlier, gets that club kind of on plane or closer to where I would like it to be, and I'm able to hit that shot. So hopefully you guys that have maybe commented in the past about my stance being a little bit on the narrow side, there is a reason for that. But like I said, experiment. If you are somebody who predominantly sees a lot of that in their golf swing, get that stance a little bit wider. Get yourself moving the pressure from that back foot into that front foot early. That'll shallow the club. If you're someone like me who does drop the club down, narrow that stance and get that rotation a little bit earlier. So even though I like my feet fairly close together, I don't ever feel that really gives me quite what I'm after. So that normal stance width for me, put that swing on it. See 4.4 from the inside, fairly controlled, didn't quite shape back as much as I would have liked, but it definitely feels for me, the more that I work on that, it's actually not a bad feeling for me that if I wanted to work one a little bit more right to left, it's quite an easy feeling. I can widen that stance a little bit, make my normal swing. And there we see that ball just turning over a little bit more. Club face will have been pretty near the target, club more from the inside. And there's kind of my big swingy draw. But for me, I definitely want to be more on the narrow side to just help that early rotation in my downswing. I think for most guys who slice the ball, try going a little bit wider. You know, nothing works for every single golfer, but be willing to try it and get some feedback on what the ball's telling you. So if I wanted to be much straighter with my path, I could try and be much narrower with my stance. And to be fair, maybe I just need to play more and more shots with that narrow stance. But I do lose a little bit of speed when I'm very, very narrow. So I understand there that when I'm narrow from the top, I start to turn out the way earlier. So if I now go back to being a bit wider and focus on turning earlier, and that's kind of just what I'm working on at the moment. So we can see there, working on width of stance can absolutely change the way you start that downswing, really change the path the club's moving on. And by playing around with getting wider or more narrow, as I've discussed, you could just get rid of your slice and your hook. So hopefully you've enjoyed that video. If you have, like it and share it. Comment below and let me know what content you would like me to do in my videos. I'm only putting these out to help your game. So comment below, let me know what you need to get better at in your golf swing. And either there's videos on there or I'll do something to help your game. There's another video just there that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. But hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.